One of the things that Marvel has gotten right this year is making movies that stand on their own 2 feet. You have someone like me who hasn't been in the MCU bubble for over a decade, but it has been easy for me to get involved this year, and that's because both Thunderbolts and the Fantastic Four First Steps have been pictures that have been able to stand on their own 2 feet very well. The new Fantastic Four begins with a team already established for 4 years on Earth 828, when the planet is threatened by Galactus. The team must find a way to stop this new threat and save the planet. The set design in this movie is wonderful. It has that 60s look to it, including VW Beetles, the old mobster looking clothes, and the indoor interiors have an amazing mixture of 2001: A Space Odyssey and older shows from that time frame such as Lost in Space. I love the look of this picture so goddamn much. It also meshes in some future tech stuff into its aesthetic. Yet none of it appears out of place in its presentation. I got vibes of things like Columbia and Bioshock Infinite, and I mean that as a compliment. The tone of the film is so lighthearted. Yes, there is ever-looming threat of the end of the world, but like Superman, it has just an uplifting tone, and that has been one of the most refreshing things about superhero films for me this year. They all have a good feel tone to them instead of just constant dread. The dynamic between the four heroes is really good as well. I do find it a little disappointing that there isn't much introspection with any of the characters. I'm not looking for overbearing pathos like we had with the original Fantastic Four, which was overbearing. But I would have liked some kind of downtime between the four to show us instances of them just shooting the breeze with each other to help build their relationship. The relationship between Sue Storm and Reed Richards is great. I'm more talking about the dynamic between Sue and Johnny. Like, I would not have any clue they were brother and sister had I not known that going in, or the picture saying it during a slight highlight reel early on. I just didn't see enough organic dynamic. But overall, I don't care that much because of how upbeat it all is. The CGI in this picture is actually really good. Galactus looks menacing in the right way. When you first see him, you're like, oh man, shit is on. And it's a good thing to establish your villain strong like that. I also think Silver Surfer looks good as well. I know people were worried about the way she would look, but I think she fits in with the aesthetic of the world very nicely. And speaking of Silver Surfer, I like the way she's presented story-wise. She has a backstory that is nice and heartfelt. It is a little undercooked, and we only see parts of it through a brief flashback, but I still like the arc of her character overall. Unlike the latest Captain America film, which I gave a positive review to, the action scenes don't feel weightless in this new Fantastic Four film. And also, unlike the Superman film, I could tell what was happening at all times and didn't feel overwhelmed with just eye candy. It all flows well and is paced extremely nicely. The performances are all very good. This is the third film with Pedro Pascal that I've seen in like a month, and yeah, I know it's becoming a meme at some point, but he's a good actor, so whatever. Go back to his performance in Eddington, which may be my favorite film of the year so far. Contrast that to his performance in Materialist, and now this one. You'll see the same face, but the way all the characters he plays present themselves are night and day. Pascal may be in a lot of movies, but that's because he's damn good at what he does. Go watch all three of those films and tell me otherwise, I dare you. Vanessa Kirby is great as Sue Storm. She isn't girl bossy in any way, contrary to what the grift machine would like to tell you, and she is willing to sacrifice a great deal for her family and team. My only quibble is, well, this is a slight spoiler, but it isn't a big one. We find out she is pregnant within the first 10 minutes, and they go on a space mission about midway through the picture when she is big pregnant. I'm sorry, even though she is a superhero, who would let anyone pregnant just go into outer space? I know this is a world and a universe where we see some of the craziest stuff imaginable, and it is a comic book movie, but that one had me scratching my head for a solid few minutes. Other than that, though, I really like Sue Storm as a character. Johnny is great too, but is probably the least developed as a personality. They only flirt with him being a ladies' man once or twice, and then it is completely dropped. There is a language he spends a lot of the picture deciphering, so that is the thing that they give him to do. He does great in the role, but I didn't see the charm I thought was established with the character in like the comics, for instance. The Thing is awesome as well. He's just this aw shucks kind of beast who loves cooking and stuff like that. He has just leaned all the way into who he is. The running gag about clobbering time didn't work for me, but I know it's there to please diehard fans, so I'm sure they will love it. I found it a tad bit cornball, but that's okay. The Thing grows a beard in the picture, and when he does, he looks like Ron Perlman, oddly enough. It was strange, but I found it funny spending the whole last 45 minutes thinking I was looking at someone cosplaying as Ron Perlman. The film's biggest strength is how well it shows the Fantastic Four working as a unit. There is no one that overshines the other. They are all allowed time to shine equally and work together. Reed Richards is the one whose superpowers are the least utilized in the film, but he makes up for it with him always writing on that blackboard he has. I just like how uplifting this film is and how it shows the power and value of teamwork amongst the group. On a side note, I would love to see the stuff with John Malkovich, and I don't know why it got cut. There is obviously a mid-credit scene and a post-credit scene because of course there is. I thought the post-credit scene was very lame. Once it happened, I literally said in the theater, that's it? The mid-credit scene was good for what it wanted to accomplish though. The only thing that I think didn't land for me in this movie that much was the comedy. It felt like it was very forced and not inspired. It didn't feel organic enough to me. But that may have to do with the lack of individual character growth I mentioned earlier in the video. I'm not sure, but the comedy just didn't hit for me that much, but it's not overbearing and constantly in your face, so it's not that big of a deal. Overall, I think this is a good superhero film that I really enjoyed. I think Marvel is on a good track here with their last 3 pictures, and have laid a good groundwork for the next Avengers movie. And I'm optimistic that they will pull it off. There are little things that had me scratching my head quite a few times, but none of it was deal breaking, and the film is just fun. Check it out and have a fun time, which we can finally say about the Fantastic Four after 20 years of just eye rolls. I give Fantastic Four First Steps 3 stars out of 4. The pacing and energy keep you gripped throughout, and it has a good villain. I felt that this team has finally gotten the right care that it deserved for after all these years. And that is my review. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this, please like and subscribe. Here's links to my other videos. Follow me on social media if you like. And until next time, I am Ghost.